Anyone there? Ah. Okay. I was having some issues with Twitch. It seems to be resolved. We shall continue with this. Audio is poo-poo. Okay, give me a second. Oh. Oh no. Oh, this is unfortunate. How's that? Hello? It defaulted to my camera built-in mic, which is obviously absolute shite, and then my decent mic for some reason had dropped off. Like Windows would be like, no mate, no, because everything is terrible and I hate computers. Hello everyone, hello, Queco, Haran, Connor, Julian, hello, DJ, hello, Mysterious, hello. We're here, we're doing it, we're live, we're generating shorts. It's bloody hot again today. I feel better than I did last stream. I sort of hastily wrapped up last stream pretty much on the dot because I was just too hot and it'd been a long day. I feel slightly better today. It's still hot, but I don't have to travel for work tomorrow. It's all good. Yeah, exactly. This whole thing is to generate shorts. Gonna be hot. Right, okay, let's just check. I am now triple streaming. Twice to YouTube and once to Twitch. It's probably about enough. Got some people here. Right, so let's think about what we were doing. We were amidst a rather meaty refactor to put out the render entities into a sparse set, so we could talk to them in terms of handles rather than pointers, which is what we had before. Has the vertical string got much traction? You know what? I've not actually checked. I don't know if I can I don't know if YouTube Analytics shows me. Obviously, you can't see this. But Analytics, let's look at the last stream. I've been meaning to check, actually. So why don't I do this now, where A, none of you can see, and B, it's absolutely not the reason you're here. That sounds like a good way to start this. Live. Can I see the last live stream, the actual Analytics? I don't think it gives me a breakdown. Interesting. I can't see. Oh no, here you go. How have viewers found your live stream? 54% from the. So this is the last stream. 54% found through browse features. So that's traffic coming from the homepage, home screen, the subscription feed, and other browsing features. So that's probably how most of you found it. And then 23% came from the shorts feed. So traffic from the shorts vertical viewing experience. So 23% of all the viewers last time came from the shorts feed. So I don't know how that equates to actual engagement and numbers, but that's how people audience. Here we go. 100% male audience from the last stream. Audience by watch behavior. Viewers also watched. It's not. I've got 7 subscribers from last one. It's not clear to me exactly how it is, but I can assume it's better than Nout. Probably worth doing. Right. So, big refactor. Got through most of it, but basically ended up at this. So this is the last thing. So this was the this was the last thing that we know of. Let me correct myself there. Basically, we have to create a sprite object in the renderer because that's how we do the post-processing effects. We render to a full screen quad, and this creates that single sprite that we use later on. So this creates an entity object, that's fine. The entity object is now constructed differently. Sorry, weird pop-up, I don't understand. This now takes a vector of render entities, which we can pull from the render entity system. So I think what we need to do is basically preload these textures for the sprite in, give it a name, and then we can pull it out. I think. So let's just like yank these out and then go to main. So this is what I was thinking. This was my thought process last time before my brain melted out of my ears. Somewhere we have this like render entity manager, right? So the build render entity manager function now goes through the manifests, the YAML manifests that we have, and pulls out all the render entities and pulls them in names and stuff. So I think basically at the end we want to just like add another one. Yeah, we gotta fix it now. So in fact, actually, let's go. I think actually we kind of want like most of this. Is that right? No, actually, that's. What's the mesh view going to be? Let me get this side by side up here. So I guess as long as the mesh manager is created first and does have a sprite, I basically want to do this. Yes. Okay. Sorry, this is a little bit grim, but I think we're going to get there. Yeah, I know, right? Just saving that one for future me. So in fact, actually, so I think this becomes rem register group, right? Ooh. And then that becomes like that, and then this just disappears like that. So it's something like this, right? And then the renderer, the sprite function is in here. So I think this then becomes, take that out. Largely making this up as I go along today, something like that. So we'll construct the sprite, and then we will stick that. Basically, I'm trying to just pre-register this thing so that we can just pull it out in the renderer. I have like an informal checklist that I've been using, but it's kind of off stream, and it's just like one very poorly maintained, and two, just rambling on my thoughts. I guess the best checklist of progress would be the previous streams, but there's quite a few of them now, so feel free to ask and I can kind of help clarify it. Okay, should we? Actually, no, we don't. No. We just pass in the mesh manager, right? Like, there's literally no reason to, because all the services for the locator service get registered at the same time, so we cannot use that to resolve them because they've not yet been registered. Yes. So that's just got to go there, right? Although it does, I do use it there, which is a little bit concerning. That is a little. I'm confused as to why this works, but I'm going to let it slide for now. Yeah, they should probably both be passed in. I think we should do that. I think that makes sense because that feels like a race condition waiting to happen. If I had infinite time in the world, what programming project topic would you love to deep dive into? Like, if I had like all the time in the world, I'd probably just do more of this. Like, I'm really enjoying this as like a long running project, and just like would try and actually make a game. Yeah, I think it's super interesting. It's visual. It's complex. It allows me to write low level C++. It's got like an optimizing angle to it. You know, it allows me to experiment with lots of new features. Like, I'd probably just keep going with this. So this, get rid of that. And then this becomes mesh manager. All right. Excuse me. I got an extra, yeah, like that. Okay, so that's okay. Yeah, I think what I need to do now is do auto. I think it works because technically these might have been moved in before, but it feels very, very grim. So let's do auto render entity manager equals. Don't like build, that really should be create, but I'll change that in a minute. So let's do resource loader, texture manager, mesh manager. Then this becomes stood move. Yeah, I know I spelled it wrong. Don't at me. Move render entity manager. Something like that. Everyone's a critic. Okay. I think something like that. So that should now create that. So let's go fix renderer now. So this really should just be get rid of all this chuff, and this just becomes service UFPS render entity manager dot square brackets whatever I call. Oh, it's probably gonna be called the same, isn't it? Probably should just call that sprite. Right, and then let's just see if that works. Will work. Can we usually access with that? Oh no. Oh, we're gonna have to do something really grim then, aren't we? I think I don't think that's not how it worked. Was that gonna work like that? Or service? Did you mean? Oh, I did mean UFPS service. We could dereference it. I don't know which is better. Also, it's not that, is it? Isn't it actually technically... Because you have to invoke it like a function when you do it like that. No, you get a reference back, don't you? I don't think you got a pointer back. I thought you got a reference. Yeah, you get a reference back. It's fine. That should work. The issue was that I wasn't seeing it. As, you know, I'm only human. Oh, it really doesn't like that. What am I doing wrong? So, do you mean? Oh, because I undid it. Bloody tit. Yeah, okay, right. Look. I'm getting there, right? Oh, because that's also a pointer, so that's fine. Or a smart pointer, so that's fine. So this should then become build render something like that. Celestial, hello. Is the chat working? The window with the thing? Because I was having some issues with Twitch earlier. We're building. Nice. Okay. Let's see if we get back to where we were. It's certainly a day. It's certainly a day. Crashed. Love it. Okay. Let's run this under a debugger. Yeah, mate, it's going exactly as I expected it to. Oh my goodness, I've just seen the vertical slice for the debugger. I mean, if you're watching this on Shorts feed, you're going to have a bad time following this. Okay, I think we must have hit the crash. Verbose terminate handler, good. Oh, we hit the drop mic, expect service. Calculate ABB, okay. I suspect we're still using expect, so that should be a contract violation. But that's obviously just a hangover from I've just missed it. It doesn't like the impl calculate AABB. What's this gonna look like for us? Hang on. Render entity. My PC specs are I have 5060 Ti. I've got a AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D 16 core, and then I have 256 gig of DDR5. So more than enough to run this little game. But I bought my PC before the great RAM apocalypse. Is it here? It was definitely like, isn't there like more than one calculate AABB if I remember correctly? Oh no, okay, fine. So this was triggering an expect. Where do it be expecting? It can only be in vertex data. Great. All right. That just returns the span though. There's no checking there. I've missed something here. Let me just rerun this again. Oh, I've got a 4 terabyte SSD as well. But again, I bought this before the massive price gouging occurred. Have you solved this for me? Was I not paying attention and you've told me what line it was on? Render entity 95. I should have just checked that before. Oh, it's just that cool though. So it is here. Where is it? Jump the gun there. Sorry, let me do this one more time with feeling. I think I need to rebuild my sysinternals folder, whatever it is. But the thing that I drag all the crap out of the Docker file for, because I think since I've rebuilt the compiler, it's changed. And it doesn't like this rando file, but not to worry. Right. So this is calling... Oh, in service locator. So, wait a minute. Wait a minute. 209. Well, I thought we removed it. Something in here is calling... this is grim. Something in here is calling the service locator. This is the problem with globals, right? So I'm prepared to admit that this is the issue with this. I've now, where's that gonna, mesh manager's passed in, surely register group doesn't use it. Thanks. I put a lot of effort into getting my Neovim set up kind of exactly how I want it. I'm always tweaking it slightly. Yeah, but is the pushback so in the CETA of that object? Yeah, I think so. I need to see it again. Sorry, I'm really I keep jumping the gun thinking like I found the issue and then clearly have not. Okay. Can I get this file up rather than just guessing around? So I really wish like pressing enter would take me to the file, but it just it does not. So render entity 18, render entity line 18, right? Oh, it calls it here. Oh, right. So when it calculates the ABB, it goes and asks for the mesh manager, which won't be registered yet. That's a little bit annoying, but I think we can fudge it by basically just doing it after it's been registered. So if we do auto register sprite, right, and then we can do we can revert all this and do UFPS service UFPS mesh manager, all right, load, and then auto texture manager equals UFPS service UFPS texture manager, get that, and then auto rem equals FPS service UFPS render entity manager. Alright. And then we just register the sprite here. Is this am I a proficient programmer or total noob? I'm probably somewhere in between. I'd probably talk a good talk, whether it's actually accurate or not. Right, did I remove that shite that wasn't working before? So now I don't actually need this, which is good. Drop all this back. So now we can register the sprite separately. So let's go to where we register the render entity. Build. Hate that name. Build render entity manager. Ooh, shit. Right. Okay. Fine. So this goes there. Then after we've set all the services up, then we can just do register sprite. All right. Do we think? Like, I'm just deferring the misery to after the global state is set. Of course, I've clearly missed something somewhere. It certainly is an way to do it. Whether it is the right way. Why is it not like this? Is it miss... Oh, whoa. Weird indent check. I just used this, whatever the GitHub Neovim releases. I'm probably a few versions behind. What has gone on here? What has gone on here? Can I just discard that chunk? Does this discard the chunk or the whole file? I'm really horrid. Careful. Steady. I feel it's because, yeah, it's got fortune favors the brave. Yeah. Look, we all make mistakes, right? No one's perfect. I am using Weasel. Good job, guys. You've got all the E puns there. I'm very proud of you. Well, still crashing, which I love. I love that for me. Really, really fun. Although the integrated debugger into Neovim, I'm really enjoying. Hello from Brazil. Surely not. This is a solved problem. Like, I fixed this. What are you changing about? Oh, build render entity management 207. Did I not clean up some code? Wait. This is going to break for all of them. Sure. Wait. Oh, hold on. Right, all render entities call this, right? How was this working before? I think I was either using UB or I was getting very, very lucky. Okay, right. Enough waiting, more doing. This, we just need to register the... All this needs to be called after we've set the services, right? We need to set the services and then call this, and then we can combine it with the other one again. So in fact, I was right the first time. Sack this off, right? This returns nothing. This should be load render, right? Don't that become... Yes, yes. Right. Can I I'm just saying, right? Oftentimes I need to get more than one service. Like, yeah, Rand knows exactly where I'm going with this. I'm not sure if I can. To be honest, without doing some gnarly meta programming, I don't know how easy this is because I'm gonna have to resolve each one and then programmatically build it into the tuple. I'm gonna spend like 5 minutes thinking about this, and then I will stop. But I feel like I need this. Is that the correct formulation? Hang on. Oh, hang on. This is easy. This is easy. This is easy. Yeah. In fact, probably don't even need that. Might not even need that. But do you see what I mean? So now I can be like auto rem mesh manager texture manager equals UFPS services, and then be like, oh mate, I want a UFPS render engine manager. I want a UFPS mesh manager. I want a UFPS texture manager. Yes. That's what we like. What could possibly go wrong? And then still gonna need the resource loader. Still gonna need that. Still gonna need that. But texture manager is now a solved problem. And then this goes away, this goes away, this goes away, this goes away, this goes away and folds in. These are resolved. This becomes... No, it doesn't. I find globals just hard to reason about. I feel like with dependency injection, it's much more obvious where they're going and what, you know, has been happening. Like anyone can change a global anywhere, and then I think it's kind of hard to reason about. But I do think for these kind of like core parts of the internal, not an engine, but semi-engine, probably do need to be global. They were, but they're not anymore. Yes, it is a global getter. Oh, the renderer itself. I don't know. I've not needed. If you're talking about the renderer itself, like I've not needed global access to it yet, so I've not put it in the service locator. Right. So now let's do. So this was called build. So this is now load, and it just needs that, and this goes here, and then we just sack all that off. I got to be in the ampersand might not be in the right place for that template pack. Could be wrong. No, yeah. Well, right. Oh, lovely, lovely. Look at all that. It just goes on for ages. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, for a start, we can fix that. I would always blame me. You sure not liking my tupel? Right. Cannot bind non-const LVAR reference to type stood to an R value of type mesh manager. I guess it does return an R value. Is it suggesting that I need that to get the lifetime extension? Because those are references themselves. So it's true that it cannot bind to an L value. But I should be able to get the lifetime extension with binding to an R value reference. Nope. Okay. Fuck me. What do I know? Yeah, it was the best of errors. It was the worst of errors. I mean, I'm onto a different error now. So that is true. I now just need to make unique render entity manager. Something's not right there. There you go. Is the problem the template? Is it the call site? Is it the lifetime extension? Is it that everything is terrible? So I'll just stare really hard at this until divine inspiration lands. No matching function for call to stood tuples. So here's the thing. It's saying here it's for constructing UFPS with no reference types. So I miss something. Maybe I do need. Isn't it like? Is it that? Because you would. I'm guessing it now. Congrats. So this is compiling all the C. Oh yeah, just look at that. Absolute pure C++ magic. If it works. I mean, it's why we use this language. Look at that. Look at all that typing I've saved with just one tiny little variadic template function. Just a little helper. Just a little helper. Right, so this looks good. Switch to this view. This also looks good. Can I still interact with stuff? Yeah. Walk over here. Fall through the floor. Whee! See, maybe I work best under pressure. That's nice. That I really like that. I think that's. Like this, I think this is really nice. Okay, it solves a problem. It uses templates. It's not that much code. Like this is what modern C++ is all about. Yeah, let's have a little. You're right. We should have a little rundown of what we've now got. So I'm gonna try and top to bottom like the big features. I'll probably miss something, but okay. So first of all, now we have physics. It's a little bit. I've not tweaked the values yet, and it doesn't have a proper time step, so it's a little bit jittery. But we've got physics, right? So we can like not walk through these walls, and we are actually bouncing off the floor. So I can like smash. I can basically like run full pace into this and smash my head against it, and it's like absolutely fine. We've got a pulsing light, which is driven through a coroutines based job scheduler. Obviously, I got some bloom, little bloom in there, little bloomy bloom. There's kind of dynamic lighting as well, like dynamic exposure. It's kind of hard to see in this example, but it sure is there. And then we have a level. So if we switch to the, I think we crashed. Nope. Okay, fine. It's just dog shit slow. So we have a flycam level editor. This allows us. This by default has post-processing disabled, but we can enable it to see what it looks like. We've got the various render targets at the bottom. You can see the various bloom maps here. If I kind of go and look at something bloomy, those do not seem to. Oh, is it because this is there? You go. Interesting. I guess they wouldn't update if you had post-processing disabled. We've got a capsule character collider. All these grey boxes here are physics colliders that we've added to this object. So we can select. Nope, that crashes. Great, love it. Ignore that. We'll fix that later. I was going to show you how the level editor worked. What am I changing to the renderer? Refactoring it so it uses handles to entities rather than pointers or references to them. So we can kind of query at runtime whether that entity still exists, and it's cheap to just kind of pass them around, and it kind of keeps it consistent with how we've developed features in the game since first doing the render, if that makes sense. So like the lights now have a handle-based system, and the physics rigid bodies have a handle-based system. So this is just bringing that in line with that. The end goal is to get that done so that we can then have a basic entity hierarchy. So I can basically attach a gun to the player and then walk around, and then we can work on the pew pew pew. That's sweet templating. So this is basically just fix integrating sorry, I'm having a stroke. Fix integrating render entity handles. Okay. I've got my doc files committed so someone can share the link. I just use is it what's the is it lazy? No, Kickstart. I basically started with this and then just kept tweaking it from there. But this gives you a solid starting point for NeoVim. Okay, so that's done. I think we still need to go back and figure out entities, because I think that's the last bit. So if we go to entity now, entity is nice because it's just a bag of handles to things, right? it could have 0 or more rigid body handles, and it could have 0 or more render entity handles, which means we can have things that render that don't interact with physics, and we can have physics things that don't get rendered. So you could have like trigger zones and stuff like that, and it should all theory be kind of entity. Whether I'm not sure how lights fit into this, whether a light is an entity or an entity should have a light attached to it. I think maybe yes, but TBC. And we don't need it now. So the next thing now is what I want is a stood vector of entity handle children. Light should be around anything we know. Yes, and I guess if you wanted a light to track an entity, you would just manually do that in the game logic somewhere. That? I really cannot spell. Like, I'm basically illiterate. So this is what I want, right? But this will not work right now because, one, there is no such thing as an entity handle because all the entities are just slapped into just deck in scene. So I've been thinking a lot about scene. I don't think scene should own very little. I think scene should just be effectively a view onto a subset of everything that is loaded that you want rendered. So it does kind of own the lights. I think that's fine for now, but I think entities needs to be pulled out to somewhere else, an entity manager, if you will. And then basically all the scene is just a bunch of handles to entities and then some settings on how to render it. All these could potentially be pulled out into a further abstraction as well, as in like visual settings. But basically the scene is, here is the scene, the responsibility of the scene object becomes, here are the things that I want to render and here's how I want them to be rendered effectively. So I think we'll just do that because then everything else just kind of works nicely with this. So I think, the other thing I've been thinking about is, do we template this and have this handle multiple types automatically? Do we have an entity manager which handles entities and render entities, potentially lights, potentially cameras? The only reason I'm not sure about that is because of the register group, but I guess you would just register individual items instead of a group. Like, does it make sense to have a group of entities? Maybe. Might make sense to have a group of lights. I think I want to explore this idea, like because templates, right? So it's like, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, if I accidentally slip on the keyboard and I type that, right? Yeah, it basically is, yeah. But if I just slip on the keyboard and I type that, like that's these things happen, right? And then Rand says, now had to switch over to a different platform because he knows I'm ignoring him with my overuse of templates. But I'm just saying, look, I'm just saying, right? If this became like a generic entity manager, whatever, like heterogeneous. No, what's the one where you store? What's like Studeni? It's a homomorphic. What's the word for it can store anything? No, it'd be heterogeneous, right? I'm just saying. And then, oh, shit, how do you resolve the handle? Cursor and cursor. This might not work. And you think about this. I might need a type resolver. Because this would then have to be a... Oh, actually, no, that's fine. This is fine, because we would have a struct data. Sure. I hate that. And then... Just bear with me, right? And then the tuple, right, is data ts. I don't know, like datas, like datas. Hello. But do you see the vision? Like, I'm sure it's heterogeneous. A heterogeneous data structure. Is a container that can hold items of different types. Yeah, so let's because heterogeneous. Well, because, right, we're going to want using entity manager. Oh, can I... Right, entity render entity. No, actually, I don't even need to do that, because what I'm saying is, like, I obviously... yeah, I'll get back to that in a second. I obviously don't want to write this and all the templated types each time. So I will need an alias, right? So this is fine. So just like the entity manager is just like the things that we care about, right? So let's do hash include core. But I'm just giving this a go now. That this is the stream now. Let's see if we can figure this out. I think that should be entry item. Datas is egregious. These will just need to be just template them on the handle type, right? There's no need to. I'm pretty sure I can use a concept for that. For like a is handle. Can I have a concept for that? In fact, actually, we're going to need to... No. Right. Hang on. That's going to be... Oh, it's going to gross this, because this is going to be set t. Because we're going to have to template it on the type of the thing that is in the sparse set, right? Which means we'll have to resolve the t here. So t here won't be a handle type. It will be the higher level thing that we're passing in. I feel like that could probably be aliased away at some point. Because it does leak implementation details a little bit, but I think it's fine. So now this goes away. We'll probably still want to define these. Right, because it's still going to want to do... Still need to refer to the entity handle outside. I wonder if I can tie the resolution of that up to this template type so I don't have to define them manually. $136 what we bought. That's correct. So that's now sparse set T handle type. Yes. Why is it not like this? Template type. That's literally how we define it here. I wonder if it's need like a type name. Yeah, type name. Always fix your issues with type names. Using declaration requires a qualified name. Oh my goodness, what is this? This isn't C++ code at all. What am I doing? Yeah. C++ grammar. Right, so now let's do %s render entity manager with heterogeneous entity manager. Right, but now all these need to be templated. So let's do template class .ts, and then you're going to want another template on top of that for the actual function, because you can just keep stacking them up. And then register group T. This looks like perfectly fine C++ code. I'm not convinced this is more reasonable, by the way. Like, I will, like, if someone's like, maybe I should learn C++. And write some generic code. I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this is what I'm writing. Function template partial specialization. That's not a partial specialization, mate. Like, what have I done? I'm going to ask the question now, what have I done wrong? And the answer is not use templates. I believe you can't stack them because one is for the class and one is for the function. Because it'll be like these are two separate template instantiations, right? Because then what we can do is we can do std get of T items, right, dot entity groups. And that's it. And this will compile time check that the T that we've requested to register the group for is actually part of the outer class template type. I don't know what to do about this. I guess like get T items dot entities. Sure. Yeah, I do need that. Unless I'm being stupid and it is this, but I'm given to understand that this would not work. Cannot specialize member of unspecialized function. Yeah, there's something I need to see the compiler error for that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, what a tit. You don't want it there because that would make it a partial specialization. That's why they're separate, I think, because you declare this as part of this, and then these are now the separate set of templated args for the function. And I'm not doing a partial specialization, so I don't specify it there. We're all following along. This is why I look for this. I really hate this type name horror though. Like that is, I'll give it to you. That is not intuitive. Alright, okay, fine. And then std get t items dot entity groups. The compiler will crush all these down. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. And then sparse set. I need to get rid of this handle. I need a type resolver. Haran's gone. Oh no, I was about to say, I thought you'd gone quiet as he slowly pulled his hair out. I think it's fine. I think that's fine. I think that's a lovely little bit of C++ code. It's got ranges in there. It's got this. Oh, I need to fix this. This is buggered. This shouldn't exist. Voice, please speak your mind. Okay, so this now becomes entity manager, right? And then the service locator gubbins here becomes can we forward declare something that becomes an alias? Do you know what I mean? Because that using is an alias. Do I have to specify them all here? I'm really hoping not to. Yeah, I don't think I can. The best person to ask, though, is the compiler. It'll obviously all the call sites be knackered now. You have to specify this. Like, that's so lame. When I have to specify something in more than one place, then like I've lost. You've seen the horror I've gone through with the OpenGL Welsh names to not have to write them in more than one place. Oh man, this is a hefty cry for help. I'm seeing a lot of repeat text in here, like I can see it flashing by, so it's fine. Render entity manager. This needs to be renamed now. Render entity manager is wrong. Why can I? What? Like. Have I got a? But I got like a reference. Circular reference. Had not considered that. I need a tuple because how else would what else am I expanding the variadic templates into, right? That's I'm gonna answer your question because it's better than the question that I need to answer for myself. Render entity manager. Like if I say I'm gonna have n or more things in here that I want to manage, right? Like those have to reify themselves into something. So I use the template expansion here. This will generate a tuple with an element for each type in here. That type being going by items, which sets up the entities and the entity groups. I don't know of any other way of doing it. You could, because then I can access them via the tuple, right? I can then say, given a type, I can do compile time lookup to get the reference to the internal items struct for any given type that exists in that tuple. I don't really know how to solve this, so I'm not particularly happy about it. When I don't actually use the render entity manager in here. I just use it for the handle. So I could just have a top level handles alias and just register them all there, which would break that dependency. So if we do E, I don't really want. I don't want to. Yeah, I can't afford to declare it because I won't know the size. So it won't be. It'll be like. So if I afford to declare it, when it comes to compile this line 32, it'll be like I'm creating a vector, but like what's the size? It's GC trunk, yeah. So I think what I want is handles.h, and then this, and then take these two out, slap them in here. Is that still going to give me a... Why can I not save that? Can I open file for writing? Okay. I'm still going to have a circular reference though, because these are going to have to import. It's trunk. It's min-GW's on master. This might not work. I think this might be too... I can't think how to break the circular dependency where the render entity manager... I guess the actual answer is I could just declare this wherever I need it. It's not great, but there's nothing to stop me setting this up here, right? And then just dropping this. I don't love it. I do love the templates, so pick your poison, I guess. So this is actual invocation issues now, yeah. It's no match, yeah. Okay, fine. So now we need to basically do whatever we use render entity manager, right? Oh, scene does use it. I didn't think it. We could. Something has to go into a CPP file, right? We could make all these scene parts non-const expert and then move them over to a CPP file. It's not the end of the world. It might improve compilation speed slightly. I don't know how much of this scene we're actually executing at const expert. Probably not a lot. That way the header is totally divorced from this render entity manager. And in fact, all managers. Do I like it? Yeah, I think so. E source core scene.cpp, right? And then I don't need those again because it's all, that's all going to be in the header file. That's in the header file. Get rid of this gubbins. Chuff. All right. So that's redefined. Okay, okay, don't care. Right, so now this becomes seen like that. Actually, no. Just get the implementation out. In fact, all I need to then do is just remove all the const expr bits from these. Some of these are auto return types, so I might have to specify them, which I probably should have anyway. And then back to here. Ooh. And then this is basically just delete that to the end of the file. Is it easy to delete your own code? Yeah, all my code's terrible, so I'm more than happy to sack it off. Stuff like this might have to be brought back because it's a template. Deducing this as well. Annoying. So in fact, actually, I think all of the... I've been a bit overzealous here. I think it's just the... I think it's just the entity stuff we need to move over. All this stuff can stay because it's all that. So it's just the... Yeah, I was a little bit overzealous there. Let's bring a lot of this back. Those can all stay const expert as well. So what's going to move over is... can we keep the constructors here? No, I don't think we can, because we care about creating the render entities. I think... no, that can stay. This one cannot. So I think for consistency, we'll keep both of them in the CP file. We should probably... keep these together. Intersect ray can probably stay, because that's going to go away anyway when I move over to Jolt. So it's basically the creating and the removing of the entities has to moved over. For consistency, I'm going to move point light over. It doesn't need it, but just for consistency. So these can all... So this goes. This goes. Did I say I was keeping intersect ray? I can't remember. I'm keeping that. Yep. Okay, fine. So then it's... create entity is going to go... entities, lights, and then it's just the remove ones. Okay. Whew. So back to here. That's going to stay. That's going to stay. That's going. That's staying. And then basically everything until remove. Okay, right, and now we can do... So that's got the render entity manager there. So this render entity manager now goes away. So there should be no render entity manager in... Oh shit, it is an insect ray. Oh god damn it. Right, fine. Insect ray, come with me. $229. Okay, and then so that's going to become intersect ray. Drop that off. That's right. Okay, cool. Okay, so now there should be no render entity manager in here at all. It's just the render entity handle, so we can just redefine that. It's not great, but we'll live with it. In here, we can have the render entity manager now, which can resolve it. So e source core e source core cmake a b c d m n o p q r s. Let's just see what happens with that. All this so I can actually get to the bit of work I want to do, which is having entity handles. A little bit of a side quest, just a wee side quest. So this is all use cases, which is fun. Oh, wait a minute, what was I doing? I had to go through and I knew what I had to do, didn't I? I had to go through and find all uses of render entity manager, right? So most of them are in scene. So render entity manager becomes entity manager, right? Because that's the main one. And then when do we use rem? So this needs to be oh, can't use square bracket operator with a template function, can you? I don't think I can do render entity. I think what I'd have to technically do is do dot operator. Fine, we'll change the call site. It's not the end of the world. Great, I hate everything. Right, okay, so back to scene. And then that becomes get render entity. Notice how I now give it to the type of the thing that I want to resolve, and then the compiler will check that I have actually registered that at the beginning. We're all hunky-dory. Cool. Okay, job done. So let's go back to render and I have to change all these as well because it can't be called render entity manager forevermore. Manager utils. Okay, fine. So this is going to be entity, and then in here we're going to do dot get render entity. I will do. I'm going to do that. I want to check it works first, and then I'll go back. And when I'll go back and rename it, or when I rename this. I see what you mean. Should I just rename those now? Probably. You are probably right. That's a good shout. I like it. It's in here twice, isn't it? Yep. Can't forget that. Don't get render entity. Okay, and then render entity manager. Where are we now? Renderer. Isn't this so much nicer? wonder if all entities should go through this, even the physics. No. It's a global. It's exactly what you wanted. I don't understand. Fine. Where are we ramming in here? Rem. So now with register group, it's also templated, so we template that on the render entity as well. So I want to register render entities. And then get rid of that, and then FPS render entity. Nice. Excuse me. No, remember name render entity. Yeah. Render entity manager. So it's just here now. So get rid of that. FR, get rid of that, and then wherever we rem, we now em.get entity manager. Oh, that was the end goal. I wanted to get like the fan blade thing spinning, didn't I? Through using the new entity handle system. When someone says they know a programming language, what would you expect them to know? I mean, it's so subjective, right? Because it also kind of depends on like what their, I guess, perceived skill level is. So I would expect everyone who knows the language to kind of know the syntax, how to build the code, how to run it, that kind of thing. Anything about kind of, I guess, like around that sort of thing. But I think after that, I'd expect people to kind of, if they know the language, they should know what the kind of the best practices, the idioms, the paradigms, the things that make that language what it is. I would expect people to know why they should pick that language over any others and when not to pick that language. So I guess like that. Sorry, yes. Right. It's going to work. First time. Why is that an unhappy compiler? No match for call. I really want to see the first error, but we can dig down to these. Well, yeah, exactly. Got to be down in the we're down in the compiler error mines, and we've hit a rich vein. I don't think I definitely don't need that because I've not started adding that yet. Oh, there's a rem. I just saw a rem. Buggered if I can find it though. Where was that? I've seen it somewhere. I saw it flash past. Hang on, what's this? Template keywords before dependent template. No, I don't want to have to do. Surely I'm not going to have to do that. That's absolute bullshit. Entity is not declared in the scope. Oh, is that the issue? I will answer your question in a second. I think it's. I guess what I should really be doing, right, is just checking that it works with one item before I try and add too much at the same time. So let's get rid of that. Like, can I just continue using it as it is? I don't really have a stance on AI because it's such a polarizing thing. I don't really want to sort of stand there saying I'm definitely not anti-AI. I use it a huge amount at work. I think as a tool, I think it's to the point now where it is very useful. So I don't really, I'm definitely not in any way anti-AI. And I think the landscape of software engineering is changing. I think it's probably almost inevitable, right? That people will just end up using it, and the landscape of the professional job will change. But I think for personal use, I still just enjoy writing code, and I don't use it. I don't really use a lot of agentic autogen stuff for my personal projects. I'd rather just write the code. But I use personally, my biggest use of AI at home is probably like a chat window, like a glorified, like a natural language Google. I find it very easy to kind of talk through I don't know, specific the things I used to Google and find on Stack Overflow. I found a lot easier to now get through LLMs. They're not perfect, obviously not, but then there's neither is everyone on Stack Overflow. So yeah, I don't know if I sometimes get lumped into the anti-AI crowd because I spend a lot of time writing code by hand, but I'm pretty honest with my AI usage, right? Yes, we did have the make debacle, which was quite funny. From the one vibe coded file, I think, in this entire project. I think people just want to know where people I wouldn't want to be disingenuous. Do you know what I mean? I wrote all this by hand, and clearly it was all AI generated because you can tell by the comments. Do you know what I mean? That is disingenuous. I think you have to expect most people now are probably using AI in various guises, and I think that's fine. I just think don't be disingenuous about it. Do you know what I mean? I did one shot at this with Mythos, and you spent 10 days working on it and had to handcraft a lot of it. Do you know what I mean? It's just what's the point? Or in the verse, do you know what I mean? I spent years working on this by hand, and then you just got GPTU soul to shit it out in an evening. I used to work in cybersecurity. I really don't know what it is, what the future is for cybersecurity, because it is very good at finding vulnerabilities. Yeah, I think it's like I said, it's almost inevitable. What happens when the bubble pops and what we're left with, who knows? But I'm not all in on it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not evangelizing that you have to use it. Don't read code, don't write code. I still think it's important to know how to read and write code. Yeah, I don't know if that counts as a stance. That's just my rambling feelings on it. Yeah, I find the discourse online, especially on X, the Everything app, to be very very polarizing by design. That's how the app works, right? All right, what am I doing wrong? Because I might just sack this off and just write a separate entity manager. What started off as fun has quickly descended into not fun. Using entity manager, conflicting declaration of entity manager. Here we go. Yes, you are right. I cannot do this. I'm going to have to do heterogeneous entity manager, render entity. Can I forward declare a templated class? Template specialization requires. Can I do that? Can I just not spell this right? Hetero. gen yes. Compiler keeps like it's not even crashing; it's just hanging. I thought we will get there. Okay. I think there's a lot of AI companies that are massively overvalued. I think just like was probably like the .com era, right? But then it's like what is left after the pop, I think, is the question. Like NFTs popped and we were left with nothing, right? Not that I was into that, but as just an example. Put all my money into NFTs. I've been at this for a little bit now. I'm starting to think for the fact that I might never have to store anything else in this, I might just duplicate it. Like it was fun, but like the integration effort now is sizable. It's not declared in the scope. Identity manager. Okay, I'm going to admit defeat here. I think I could. No, I am 99% sure I could get this to work. I think the amount of time I spent on it now is fast becoming the sunk cost fallacy, and we could be making more progress now. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't think we need to progress it. So what I'm going to do is basically stash this away in case I ever need it again. But I want to git stash source. And then just sack that off. Okay, cool. Right. It's fine. Like, we live and learn. So now I can do source core entity manager.h. And whilst it does pay me to do it, I will just duplicate the code. I could create a generic one and template it on the individual ones, but I think for this now, like... So much... I sacked off the super generic implementation because it was proving more trouble than it was worth to integrate. And whilst I had a lot of fun playing around with the templates, given the time we've already sunk into it, I don't think spending any more time on it is worthwhile, considering what I want to get done this stream. Also, whilst it would be nice to support n number of templated types on it, I suspect at the moment the answer is only 2, so I could just as easily duplicate the code and move on with my life. I could... Part of me does feel like I should template this. No, let's get it working first. I think this is the thing I miss a lot. Oh, hang on, that's missing a naughty. I wonder if that was part of the error messages we were getting. Oh no, it's just there. I'm just stupid. Yeah, I try and keep on the straight and narrow of actually getting us to what we want. So we just want entity now. Are we still going to have the same issues even though I've just pulled this out to a separate class? I'm worried if I'm still going to have the same issues. Because let's have a little think about this, right? Because scene. The issue is that I want scene to own handles of entities, right? Oh, wait a minute. No, this is scene, not entity. So, no, that's fine. So the issue is this entity. I think it's fine. I'm going to keep going. Let's just get this integrated first. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. It's like scene shouldn't be a container. It should be a view, effectively. So I guess entity doesn't need groupings. If we wanted to make this code specific to this, I guess the question is, yeah, do you give it an entity? I guess you probably do. You would construct your entity, right? And then you would get back an entity handle. And then from that, you could give it the handle and get back the object. Entity, I know, sorry, the terminology is confusing. Entity is the object. So then, yeah, I think let's just keep this simple, right? Then I don't feel so bad about duplicating the code. So then I don't need any of this. The thing about it tends to be a newly constructed entity. Yes, exactly. So I think you basically construct your entity and throw it into this. Should you get you probably should get the handle back, shouldn't you? Straight away. Congratulations. I wish you all the best in your new role. I don't want to move it. It's just copyable, right? In fact, then I don't need a vector of them. Names. And this doesn't need to be a. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think this is. Until I tell you what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this to be simpler, so you just register a single entity against a single name. If in the future we do need groupings like we need with the render entities, then we'll hoist render entity manager out, template it, and then have 2 instantiations of it. I think that feels better in my mind than whatever mad one I was on before. Right, okay, fine. So now I can go to service locator and do class entity manager. Right. So then we go main, and then we can go service, and then we can do hash include core entity manager. Right. Let's see if this blends. Ooh. Oh shit! I just stashed it all. Fuck's sake. Hold on a second while I bring all my stuff back. Popped. I can't possibly comment onto your company policy, etc., etc. I think if you feel like you're not learning, but this was true before AI, right? In any role in any role you have, if you feel like you are not learning, then part of the responsibility is on you to do that learning yourself, probably outside. So I think it's always worth learning something new, regardless of what it is, like woodworking, whatever, like metallurgy, C++, whatever. It's always worth bettering yourself, right? So I think you've got the right attitude. Okay, this seems to work. A little weird like line here, but whatever. They play loads of crashes if you look at it too hard, so I've got bigger problems. Okay, so this is like so initial work for entity manager. Okay, right. So now comes the tricky part. I don't know if it's that poly within. That's just I asked Jolt to tell me what lines it wants to draw, and it gives them to me. So who knows what Jolt does under the hood? You might be able to change the fidelity of it. I don't know. I just leave it as the standard one. Right. So now, do we even? Where do we even use? Right. Okay. So. I got a feeling I don't need this because it's this. Is this not in Render Entity Manager? That's still building. If I'm going to get an explosion of errors, I'd rather get the explosion of the errors of the thing I actually want to change rather than the thing I deleted thinking I don't need it, forget about it, and then write a load of code. Like I said, always be looking to improve, always be looking to learn new things. Like learning, if you can find joy in learning new things, which it should be fun, then you're off to a good start. Yeah, I've definitely gotten better at kind of multitasking on live. So talking to people, engaging, answering questions, writing code. Okay, right. This is it. This is the change that I want. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I'm like coding on a project or whatever, then yeah, like I need like music with no lyrics. I just need sort of ambient noise. I do my best. Right. Okay. So now this is where it gets tricky because I want to. I basically don't want to create anymore, right? I want to add an entity, and I want to do that via the entity handle, and I think that should just return void because you've already got the handle. Like you can resolve that back. So I use fish and then just like a nerd font, and that kind of handles basically everything for me. I actually prefer add without entity. It's obvious I'm adding an entity because of the type, and then this will be remove entity handle, right? So this was what? Create entity now becomes add. Oh, my hands are getting clammy from the heat. Entity handle void rem service entity, and then I just, oh shit, do I still need a name? I still need a name, don't I? It's annoying. And this just becomes, oh, there's the em dot register add. I can't remember what I called it now. Register entity. I almost feel like this actually, wait a minute, this isn't, no, I don't need that. Like this shouldn't use this at all. This should literally just be like, yeah, hang on, no, this is right, isn't it? I'm being stupid, sorry. Like this has already been constructed. I just have the handle. So this just does entities, entities dot pushback handle, right? That's all there is. Bish bash bosh. So that will now get rendered on the next tick. Yes, and then remove entity handle, and then this remains the same. Again, so scene doesn't participate in ownership anymore, right? If you want to fully unload the entity, then you need to go to the entity manager and ask to remove it. This is just saying, hey, this no longer exists in the scene, don't render it. That is a trap that we need to be careful of going forward. When we remove something, we need to be thinking, do we want it to be fully removed from the effectively the entity cache, or do we want to just remove it from the current scene? I can just do find. I don't even need to use with the lambda. I can just do find entities handle, right? Yeah, reverse unload. Thought I was done with this bullshit. The challenge I'm facing right now is this. Make one small change. Okay, fine. This is solvable. What in the description do I get for the entity? Is it entity description? That gives me a name, so I should be able to pull that back out based on the name. So I think, so here is interesting. Here I think is where we will actually construct the entities, right? Because we're doing deserialization. So we need to do both here. We need to both add them to the entity manager and then get the handle back from it. All right, so new entity. So this is wrong. This needs to be em dot register entity, right? It doesn't care about the, oh shit, who owns the transform? No, wait a minute, you construct the entity object first, don't you, and push it in. So we're going to do auto. So this is actually oh my goodness. So what do I pass into entity to construct it with? A name, the list of render entities, and the transform. So where does... Yeah, okay, yes. I got to duplicate that. Okay, so this should be the entity object, right? So this should, in place, construct a new entity. Because you construct that with a name, a bunch of render entity handles, and the transform, okay. So that should construct that. Yeah, there. Okay, nice. That gives you back a handle. And then we can do auto new entity. This will give you an optional to em new handle entity, and then all the new entities will come this. New entity handle. Right? You're correct, yes, because I want it by value, because it's effectively just a pointer and a ball. Correct, yes. Thank you. I think that can be const actually, can't it? I think I guess anxiety with programming challenges, especially talking about like analysis paralysis, which I get all the time. The way I kind of resolve it in my head is like just got to start writing code, even if it's the worst code you've ever written, even if you throw it all away, you just got to start writing code, and then through that progress starts to be made, and you start hitting the issues you need one by one, then you start knocking down those obstacles. So I think, yeah, so easy just to stare at like a blank file and be like, what am I going to do? I highly doubt that's fixed all my problems, but we'll see if it's fixed some of them. I'm going to try. I'm going to go for a little bit longer, I think, stream, because it's coming up ish to stopping time. But I really want to try and get this. If we can get this refactor done and it works exactly how it should, we made effectively zero progress, then the next stream we can create the parent-child relationship and then add a gun. This will, if we don't get this done today, then this will be easily fixed on the next stream. There's not a huge amount left to do, but this will enable us to have a much better way of doing like the parent-child. I think, I really hope. Like, I'm prepared to eat those words when it turns out it's an absolute bloody nightmare. What's this? 240. So this, I think that needed to be that, didn't it? Well, I think be careful with like assuming the videos I produce are a linear, you know, a true representation of linear time. Like, I go through a lot of headbanging and a lot of misery to figure the issue out and then tell a story of it. And I do try to make that story show the highs and the lows, but there is a certain level of kind of, you know, it's a story at the end of the day, right? It's impossible for me to show all the difficulties I had. I do my best to be fair and representative, but it is at the end of the day a piece of entertainment. You've got to just be methodical. You've got to approach it like one issue at a time. It's so easy to be like following multiple processes and putting multiple threads at the same time. Trying to keep notes. I'm terrible at keeping notes, but it does help an awful lot. Yeah, and it's just, I think it's just having sort of like the confidence to know that like most problems are solvable and like you can and will get to the end of it. It's just taking the time to like grind it down like bit by bit and try not to get too lost in the weeds and being prepared to just take a step back and start again, or take a different angle. Yeah, I don't really have like a rule, like a playbook for it. I just kind of keep going until like progress is made. But like there's been a few videos where I've just not been able to make any progress and I've sacked it off and done something else. So but then I kind of have the luxury of that for this, because like if I can't make a video out of it, then I'll go and find something I can make a video out of it, and I'm not being paid to do it. So these are handles now. So this should be const handle, and then we'll do auto nope entity equals em handle. I'm gonna be a little bit rude here, and I'm going to let the debug build catch if this is missing, because I don't know what the correct answer here is in terms of error handling. If I intersect array in an entity and it no longer exists, I probably just skip it. In fact, actually, I think that might be the correct choice here. Maybe render a refactor. I don't know. Yeah, you might be right. I must admit, I didn't put too much thought into the title. It's going to go from the bottom up until I see code that I've written and is therefore wrong. That looks like mine, 365. But I just looking for code that I wrote. I think render entities is already handled in intersect because the code's already was running before we started this. So I think that's already handled, but I will double check. Why is it not like that? I'm pretty sure, like, am I going mad? Or is it? I thought because one stood find worked on a value. Maybe it might be cascading. Oh no, here it doesn't. This is why. Ooh. Why is this? Did I make that private for a reason? I think I did. I think I didn't want anyone to be able to infer anything about the data within the opaque data within it, including ordering, but like you just cast it to an int if you cared. I think that's what. Or it was just an oversight. I'm hoping that'll take care of a lot of those problems. I have a ducky 60%. I can't really show it because it's the cable's quite short. And I'm worried if I unplug it, it will not work again. But cherry blues. 278. Intersection result. Oh, interesting. So this intersection result should now have an entity handle, right? Ooh, fun. Oh, that is fun. I'm out of water, so I'm just going on just pure willpower at the moment. That is correct. That should be that. No, it shouldn't. That should be handle. All of a took. Okay, right, now we're getting into the use where we're using it. I just saw some fly past. And that's... Oh, I see. I know exactly where that is. That is 211. That is service is. I probably could... No, I don't... No, ignore me. I've had a completely free night. Probably, I mean, I'm sucker for a beer. Maybe a pint of Guinness. Really depends. What hot mess is this? Just give me my code. Just give me where I've messed up. I don't care about any of this. Debug renderer 260. All right, we're getting somewhere now. I feel like we're... What? Why is it not like description? Oh yeah, I need to resolve these, don't I? Here's a question. I think I need to be a little bit more careful here. I think I need to filter first. So I think I need to filter stood views filter em const. It's just auto e now, isn't it? Return bang bang em e. All right, filter that over to that, and then that would be em e description, because we've only got handles. Handles need to become values. Values are returned via optional ref, C++26 feature, what someone just mentioned. But they might not still be there, so we first filter them out. I think that's right. Okay. Still doesn't like that. Why is it not like that? Yeah, what's it not like about this? All this pipe gubbins here normally means ranges. Template argument deduction substitution failed. Constraints not satisfied. It doesn't like the transform. Or it doesn't like this pipe. One of these, basically what's happening is, I suspect, is one of these templates is ill-formed, which is then meaning the view object we're trying to construct is ill-formed, and then the compiler is just cascading. So let's have a look. So we're going to go through entities. I wish there was... Is it? Do I need to capture that by? Do I just need to capture that by reference? Am I trying to take a copy of a reference of a non-copyable type? I was expecting to say that, but then I expect an awful lot from C++, and I don't often get it. Okay, well, I'm fucked up with variant now somewhere, so that's fun. Debug renderer 1056. Ah, I know exactly where this is. This now becomes entity handle. Service is so service is the service locator pattern. Basically, it has a bunch of global things that I care about that should only be instantiated once and should be accessed globally throughout the application. Effectively a singleton, but I don't. But I want to kind of control access to that. So you register the services when the program starts, and then you can query for them and check that they are there, basically. And then these are effectively have static lifetime, but so you just have to be careful about the static initialization fiasco, where you can't guarantee the order they'll be oh no, you can guarantee the order they'll be destructed in because it's a tuple, so this is fine. You don't know when amongst all the other statics this is going to get destroyed, but when it does, then because it's a tuple, they should go in the reverse order. Anyway, hope that explains. Hope that helps. I think I might have just confused myself more than anyone else there. Okay, so now wherever we're using entity, we now need to think. Hey, wait a minute. Include core entity manager. Right. So now we need to replace all the entity. Yeah. Okay. Fine. There's quite a lot to do here. Should really alias this variant type. Okay, so now create debug controller, add entity. So this is the add entity is just like a struct that I created, which represents the concept of the UI being able to add an entity. So when you render one of those, it will render out the combo box of all the mesh names, and then it will let you select them, and then if there's one selected, it will create them. So at this point, the entity manager is already populated because the scene constructor does that. So this should just be ugh, gross. Right. So the question is, how do I get the index from the mesh name? Oh no, that's easy. That's super easy. In fact, I don't think I even need some of this now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do auto em equals of service of entity manager, right? And then we're going to do into add. We're just going to do em get the handle for that name, because the names are a little bit kind of copied all over the place at the moment. And this will just be, oh, hang on a minute. I think just that. And similarly for deleting it, we basically do this. Actually, this is even easier. So the selected entity now just becomes a pointer again. FPS entity handle. And then we just do scene.remove entity. It's exactly the refactor we had to do for fact, actually, because it's fact, does scene does lights dot lights remove? I think both of these are the same. We could just do scene remove selected entity, only if it's one of those two. I don't think there's a way of making that generic, but leave it for now. But anyway, it's nice to know that that's actually kind of simple. Right, duplicate entry. So get the handle of the thing we want to duplicate. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. I've just... No, I'm fine, I think. Oh my goodness. Right. Auto em equals your FPS. This is going to get real nasty. Right, okay. First of all, I want to get... I've got the handle, right? So I want to do entity... I want to get... Yeah, em selected entity, right? I want to contract assert entity. Actually, I think just do contract assert entity, right? All right, let's just check it's there first, right? And then I do add doesn't give you back the entity. That's fine. I need to do auto new entity handle equals em dot add star entity, right? So that will because, oh no, it's not add, isn't it? Isn't it register? that will register a new entity in the manager based on the actual entity object before, because shit, name. So this is going to be third format. Hang on, I think it's fine. So we'll take the existing entity right, which we resolve from the selected handle, create a new one, and then this will then go into the scene, add new entity handle, right? And then that doesn't give you anything back because it's the responsibility of the caller now to do auto new entity equals em new entity handle. I'm going to just contract assert because it would be really weird if that had gone away. And then we can just do this. I think that's fine. It was new entity handle. Right. All right. Hello. I don't know, mate. It's so odd. I can't. I just. Who knows? This. We're getting close. Oh, my. The old R-value reference to do lifetime extension. Why the Docker builds? Reproducible build system means the CI runs the same build. It means I can port it to another machine if I want to. It means it's easy for me to kind of change the build settings and roll them back if I need to. So this is there. Have I missed it somewhere else? To be honest, technically, I probably should do RB there. Why have I called? Oh no, I just do that in line. That's fine. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just spent like the best part of like my professional life staring at compiler errors. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing this for over a decade now, so unfortunately, you just kind of get a little. You can just get used to it. Renderer 457. So now we're in renderer land. Render. So this now is. That's a good point. Does this returns? I feel like that should return a span rather than. Is that just returning the handle? That is wrong. That should. They are handles now, but the reason I would have called this an explicit template parameter rather than using auto for deducing this is because I would want access to the type, and I'd only want the type in this case because I want to change the return type, which means it should be a span and constant non-const. I don't know why that's not the case. Come back to that later. All right, so this is now a entity handle, and then this will become const auto entity equals em entity handle. I don't. So here's kind of like the crux of this now, right? Is like these by design, these handles may not be handling the handle. They might not reify to things that exist anymore, right? That is by design. That's the level of abstraction we want. When I get to rendering it, should these have already been cleared out and handled? I think the answer is probably no. I think the answer is probably like, if not entity, then continue. Like just render everything that's there, right? Do the cleanup later. Yeah. And then, so this now becomes that. And this then becomes that. Oh, 452. You're right. What is that? Soon. Put in the paper. I'm glad like my code looks professional. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while. Like I'm not perfect, and I definitely have very strong opinions on how C++ code should look. But I try and remain, I guess, true to myself and reasonably consistent. Debug render at 558. Yeah, that's not going to work for you, for me, is it? Entity handle, get that out. I don't think I'm too fussed about this new manager abstraction. I do think it's going to make life a lot easier. I do think it makes everything just read only. It kind of, I'm sure Harand will be happy about this. The design now is basically construct and allocate everything in main and then just have handles to it throughout the rest of the game. Like, obviously I'm not doing that with memory, I'm just doing that with concrete objects. That's kind of where we're going with this, is we'll just fill these managers with all the things that we want and then off you go. Auto entity equals em selected entity. Oh, agreed. Yes. Post render. What the fuck am I even doing with this? Oh, if it's selected, then draw the debug lines. I'm going to say that this is actually a bug. If we get around to the debug render and we're selecting that no longer exists, I feel like our bookkeeping has gone wrong. So I'm going to contract assert entity here, and then this just becomes entity. We're getting there. This is my code, debug render 821. Yep. Handle. It's no longer, we're no longer two-star programmers. Oh, shit. Okay, fine. So let's do auto em equals service entity manager, something like that. Yeah, I think we can figure that out when we get there. Okay, so now I want to do, so auto entity equals em that, and then I want to contract assert. This is me being a little bit lazy. And then those should all work from there, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, debug render 554. What do you like about that? What? Ah, services. Is that what you were talking about earlier? Okay. Shouldn't have ignored you. Bites me every time. Oh, there's another one there. Didn't see that one, did you? There'd be a lot. It's true, yeah. Well, singularly terrible at this. What do you mean contract assert? Oh, contact assert. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll give you that one. Oh, you know what? I'll give it that one. Yeah, I mean, there's no free lunch, right? Mismatch type const auto, but deref 558. What's going on here? Then select density. You're right. That is not that. That is that. Oh yes, you're right. Okay. Range issue. What's this here? 568. Contract set's great. You'll need GC16, but it's basically a more modern assert because it'll invoke your contract. It'll invoke your violation handler, which you can then toggle what that kind of means with different compiler flags. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? It seems to be. It doesn't like this. This is ill-formed somewhere. I mean, this should be that. Is it that? Oh. Oh, we're getting there. We are getting there. Progress is being made. Oh, not here. Fine, I thought I fixed it. Fine, I'll take it all back. In my hubris. We should just tell you what it didn't like about it rather than tell me all the template instantiations it tried, because that's a real pain. Oh, is it shadowed? Yes, I bet there is a shadowing here. I might just turn. Oh, we've done it. New error unlocked. No, that's going to change it, but I might as well get the right line numbers. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Let's push forward. Get this running again. I might have piped in atomic memory order. It's just impossible to tell. OpenGL4.6.9. All right, so we're back on that. It really, right. Why? Entity is resolved, right? Entity has come out of the entity manager, and this is a optional optional reference, right? We've checked that it's holding the thing. We've then dereferenced through the optional to get to the render entities. We have then, which is fine. That is a. We've then gone through each of those and resolved each of those to the actual render entity itself, and then we want to create a BB lines. Was you telling me what you didn't like about this? Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, maybe it's... Is it... Is this then entity transform? You're right. Render entities themselves are... What's going on? Are agnostic to where they live in the world. Let's just see if we can get it. Let's see if we can appease the compiler first. Unless you mean boom at compile time. Right, maybe it moved on. What do you think is going to go bang here? No, that's fine because that's the overall AABB for the entire entity, including all the sub-entities that gets rendered as a separate set of lines. So I think that's fine. But I think I saw render a 480. Okay, what was not like about this? Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, hang on. It's not like, oh, there's no dot operator on this. It's like, your lambda is ill-formed, so therefore I'm going to try a load of other stuff and tell you that didn't work as well. It's like, great, thanks, but you could have just told me that that was wrong. Still didn't like 480. Okay, where are we at? Maybe that? Have I got some const specifiers wrong somewhere? It shouldn't. I mean, they're all read-only operations, so it shouldn't be that. Emissive strength lives on the entity because it's effectively applied to all sub-entities. See, it's on entity. We don't have per sub-element emissive strength. It's just the whole thing is either emissive or it's not. Right, let's see if we can give me a little bit more. Just give me a little bit more, please. Oh, construct. Is that why? Lol. Again, I feel like that could have been a little bit more obvious. Right. Some issue with span. Classic. Where have I spanned wrong? Just give me my code, please. unknown conversion from vector sparse set handle to. Oh no, this is fine. This is fine. Here we go. What's this? Command buffer 44. Play this game again. Right. Okay. Make an R value reference. Do em. Bring in hash include core entity manager. And then it's gonna be grim. This. Thank you. Okay, I think we need to do the same thing we did before, where we do third views filter auto e return bang bang em e ampersand e return em e like that, and then the rest of it I think is taken care of. Don't we do this twice? Yes. Should that build an entity or should that build from an entity handle? Just thinking about it. That doesn't make sense. That should be oh, no, well done there. Whoops. Okay, let's do that there, and then we can do I'm gonna do like const auto entity equals em handle, and then there should definitely be a contract assert at this point. Contract assert entity. Contract assert entity, and then that becomes that. And now we have shadowing. Great. Yeah, getting there. Okay. I can't remember last time I looked in the header file for this. Well, so yeah, I've learned from my mistakes. Okay, renderer 310. Oh my goodness. Yes, it does need to be an entity because it won't be a handle because you don't render the. Oh Jesus. Basically, the issue is that I was getting a bit ahead of myself there. Sometimes you do know how to build just from an existing entity. Because the scene is now a read-only view over all the things we want to render, so you can't put the sprite in the scene because it will render it, but it still needs to exist somewhere. So we do need this. That's a little bit annoying. It's not the end of the world. I think this just goes back to Just that, right? Oh, I'm expecting it to build. I think it crashed. Yes, yes. What misery have I unleashed for myself? Okay. Ooh, an OpenGL debug callback. Interesting. Render G buffer pass. Render G buffer pass. So in renderer 492. What's it not liking about that? In fact, actually, I think the easiest thing to do is just run it and get the full. Let's do build. So let's just run it. Yeah, I think we can get that out. The problem is my fancy script, which causes it to work with the Stream Deck, hides the error messages a little bit, which is a little bit annoying. Here we go. Indirect must be multiple of indirect. Must be multiple of 4. I'm assuming it means offset bytes must be a multiple of 4. But what has changed? Yeah, we might be. Let's just. Nope. Offset. Was it? And it was definitely offset bytes, was it? Yes, I think you're right. Let's see if we can view this. Okay, so command count is 0, so that's certainly wrong. And then I bet command buffer is like empty. Where's I don't globe? Where's the disk on this? Hello, value. Come on, oh, Jesus, this is fucking painful to use. Can I just? Okay, that's fine. Command buffer. Command buffer is size of 1. Yeah, something has gone amiss here with our generating of the command buffer. So this is in the G buffer pass. So this should be the full data. This is not rendering to the screen size quad. This is the whole scene, whole shebang. We've changed quite a lot. Command count comes from Where does command? Comes from build buffer with the scene. So it's got to be this. This is balls up. Are we actually populating this? Like, I've created the new entity. I don't think I've like probably need to add that to the scene. Am I right? Rem does it, I think, late, kind of not recursively, but when you serialize the render entities from that, I think it does it, unless it wasn't doing that. I'm glad you like the shorts. We are generating more as we speak. This is the shorts machine. Oh, fucking nailed it. Absolutely crushed it. So, I don't know, I get so pleased when things work. Right, there's a lot to test now. Like, can we click that? All right, let's try something else. Can we? Okay, so we can move that. Can I duplicate that? Okay. Can I delete the original? Oh, it's just working. Can I tip the little capsule out? Here he goes. I'm gonna call that a bit of a success. I don't know about you, but I feel like we're winning. Oh, it's dirty on the inside of that light, isn't it? Ugh, gross. Don't look too much of that. Oh, I'm so pleased. I generally, right, Jesus Christ. It's almost impossible to actually, we can pull some of these out, can't we? So this should be make sparse set handle comparable. Is that right? Yeah, exactly. So that is finish migrating entity to handles. And that will put us at stream 51. Don't go. There's the tithe must happen. Okay, right. Engage with your audience. No, I don't want to do that. I mean, I do, but I don't want to click that button. Sorry. Okay, there's some free 1 month premium memberships. Quecko, you absolute, I can't believe that. If I'd ask you to give that back if I could. Yeah, it's a custom. It's kind of a custom engine. It's a custom renderer. It's custom. Everything is custom apart from the physics engine, but it's not an engine. As in, like, you will not be able to make any other game other than the game I'm making with it, if that makes sense. So we're making a game from scratch. Eventually, I will probably pull that out into an engine in the future. Oh, Quecko, how kind of you! Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. You of course didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. See if there's anyone doing C++. But yeah, I was ready the other day and I didn't give it back, which is rude. So let me just see if there is anyone doing anything interesting. Same category. Search and filter by tag, CPP. Vibe coding C++? Probably not. There's the guy who's coding a game engine from scratch, but he's dead inside. We rated him before. I don't know what the people thought about that. Other than that, I don't think there's really anyone around. Someone doing MMO game dev? Unreal though. Tricky. Anyway, probably not tonight. Okay, where are we at? Okay, we refactored the entities to use handles, so it's in line now with the render entities and the lights and the physics system. I'm really pleased with that. That's exactly where I want it to be. The next stream, which will probably be Wednesday, yes, I think it is, will be... I'm going to try... I do have a model for a rifle, but the game... When he said the engine, the game... Okay, if he's cool, we'll do it. He's only got 2 people there, so let's do that. Same category. I'll set people up to go there. No, this guy's called Prisden. But anyway, fine. I'll click. We can go. Oh, he's gone offline. He's literally just stopped. Fine, whatever. Anyway, yes, I'm gonna have a beer, which is the most important thing. No, I'm gonna try and off stream just fix the resource packing tool to handle it's because it's a model from a different publisher. It's a different artist. It's in a slightly different format, and I guess the correct answer is probably be I should pre-process all of them in Blender so they're all of the same format so that the packing tool can pack them all. Obviously not going to do that. I'm just going to keep hacking on my terrible resource packing tool to handle everything. So I'll try and do that before the next stream. If not, we'll just do it live and we'll figure it out together. But yeah, I want to have a parent-child relationship with transforms. Then I'll slap a gun on the player or may I walk around. So I don't know. Is it you? Are you streaming? Were you streaming? Are you dead inside? Anyway, that's all I've got. Thank you very much for spending your evening or your morning or whatever time it is with me. Okay, well, I was going to raid you, but you seem to have stopped, so I guess better luck next time. I'm glad you're here, though. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. I greatly appreciate it, as always, and we'll do this all again soon, and I'll see you all anon.